How did the Eminem first encounter go? When he first got with you?
It was wild. It felt like...
How did it happen?
Remember that show that had Punk on MTV? I thought they had cameras and it was going to come out and say, you fit.
Where was y'all at? What city was y'all
I was in California. He flew me to LA, right? I came out. I was so bugged out from the experience that I came through the airport with the vest and shit on.
The vest on.
I'm lucky I took the shot plate out the front of the joint because when I came through, it didn't. But the lawyer that I had with me, they took me to him. I get there, he like, yo, how do you feel about this shit? Like, yo, this is gonna be the biggest shit, right? He's like, yo, I'm so excited, yo, that it made me question whether what was happening was right. Because I just wasn't so used. It felt so good that it couldn't be like right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, nah. And when I left that meeting, I didn't want him to feel like he brought a problem. So I wouldn't say anything about Ja Rule.
Yeah.
I didn't say one thing.
How long did the meeting last?
It was like, when I met him, the first night I met him, he had an event. It was the Marshall Mathers LP just came out the first week. He sold 1.7 million records. And he was so excited about me that I'm looking like, you serious? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo. And by the time I got back, and I would never say anything about John until the first time I said something about John made a mistake and said something about Haley. When he said something about Haley, he thought that they made some sort of kind of connection when they were getting high or some shit like that. And I'm like, what the fuck made him think like this? Like, and I'm like, it was a Friday evening. Him didn't record that Friday. I recorded that Friday, that Saturday, that Sunday. He came back. I had a full CD, Automatic Gunfire. It was my whole mixtape, Automatic Gunfire, was done Monday morning. He was listening and going, yo, when did y'all get a chance to? Damn, all this shit this weekend, like, I was dying to do that. I just didn't want him to feel like he brought a problem because I know he didn't understand the severity of who I am. You know, like, it's a little different. Like, for me, it's like, consequences is you dead. There's nothing else to talk about. Like, he didn't understand that. He was listening to the material. He was listening to the music.
This shit is hot.
He said, this shit is hot.
How much money did he give you for that first deal?
I got $1 million.
Cash. Add the taxes.
The only person that pointed out that $1 million was no money was Damon Dash, and he has no money now. I only felt that, because he said, there ain't no money. Like, after you get your watch, chain, and you look out for the homies, and you do this, then it's nothing. Right? And I was like, nigga, I'm from 134th Street. $1 million is a lot of money.
Right.
I think I hit the lotto.
Right.
How you gonna say there's no money? Like, and I just never forgot that because of how it felt.
Was that the only offer you got? Was any other labels offered you?
I met with everybody. I met with Clue, Desert Storm, all of them. It's because I wanted them to say they was doing the deal with me.
In the world of hip hop, we've seen so many rappers come and go. You know, some have massive success only to fall off, or some have a notable career but just fade away, not really remain relevant. One-hit wonders, some that just couldn't live up to the hype that was, behind their name, the momentum that they had, they couldn't deliver. But few have remained relevant for all these years the way 50 Cent has. He might not be dropping music currently the way that he did when he first touched down, but his name is still here. He's got this whole movement going in Shreveport, and in my opinion, you can't question he's still winning in 2024. And aside from rappers falling off or not being able to remain relevant, rappers having genuine cool relationships with each other is another thing that is like a whole nother conversation. Like, how many rappers have we seen in the same clique, crew, label, whatever the fuck you want to call it, end up having internal beef, falling off, cool, but not cool like they used to be? You feel me? Like, Eminem and 50 Cent was just such a major moment, and this is gonna be such a dope interview. As you see, this is just a clip Gilly the Kid promoting this. I guess the whole interview's coming tonight, man. And 50 Cent, like, this was history making. And you see M and 50 still genuinely rock with each other, man. And I mean, I remember that was history when MTV is when I first saw a comment where you first saw that 50 has signed Eminem. I remember an MTV news brief breaking on the screen. I think M was on tour and he had some of his D12, his Shady Records affiliates with him, and 50 was there, and he's like, yo, this is big, we're signing 50 Cent, and this is gonna be huge. And obviously, everyone knows what happened. It went on to be one of the biggest debuting albums of all time. That's what's so wild to hear 50 Cent talk about how when he sat down with M, and the Marshall Mathers LP had just did 1.7 million in the first week. He was looking at Eminem like, me, you're interested in me? Like, you know what I mean? Because 50 had a long road in hip hop. Comment, y'all, if you have been rocking with 50 Cent before the Shady Records deal, even before How to Rob, like he had garnered a lot of momentum mixtape wise. As you heard, Eminem was like, damn, y'all recorded this just now. Like back then, G-Unit was just dropping them mixtapes left and right. That was classic projects, man, where they would just get off to everyone else's beat, man, and make their own hooks to like comment some of your favorite G-Unit tracks from back then, man. Like you guys remember that one to the East Siders, G'd Up? It was just mixtape after mixtape was pure fire, man. And it was wild too, like when the deal was announced and the promo began and they did the most genius rollout ever, in my opinion, the way they did all the interviews and the different stuff leading up to Get Rich or Die Trying dropping. I was like, man, I want to see these two collab. And on Get Rich or Die Trying, them Eminem collabs are bonkers, man. The one, what, Don't Push Me, and the other joint they had, what'd he say, Shady Records was 80 seconds away from the towers. Like those were just two fire ass tracks, man. But leading up to that, I was like, man, when we gonna see 50 and M on a track together? And then on one of the mixtapes, I seen they had, it was Soldier, which Eminem had. Soldier was just 50 Cent's G-Unit version, and they had it tagged featuring Eminem because they left his, you know, vocals on the hook, but it wasn't really a true feature. But I couldn't wait, and let me know if you were the same way, and what's your favorite Eminem 50 Cent collabs of all time are and were. It's wild though to hear 50 Cent say that he thought he was originally being punked, man. You know, like as someone that followed 50 Cent's career, I like to say pretty closely, like this man had went through so much, so many trials and tribulations, pretty much was blackballed about it, the industry, the Ghetto Quran controversy, obviously getting shot, like the politics with the label being pulled off, the J-Lo track and Nas verse placed in 50 Cent's spot. That was a tough situation. Like it almost seemed like his career was snake bitten in a lot of ways. And when M, you know, approached him with this deal and they came together almost like the mega powers or something like that, it was something that went down in the books and still to this day is a dope story with a happy ending, in my opinion. You know, that's still going on, still here in 2024, as they're still both winning. Prior to the announcement of the Death of Slim Shady project that just dropped a couple months ago or whatever, there was a buzz going around from an interview where DJ Who Kid had asked Eminem about, yo, I'm hearing talks about you and 50 dropping a project together. And Eminem's answer kind of felt like we might see it, you know what I mean? But obviously that wasn't the case, but I think that would be so dope. Let me know if you agree as well. It's such a trip too to hear him speak about the Ja Rule situation, which that beef, obviously we know 50 got stabbed with a butter knife by Black Child. They did the whole order of protection move, you know, when the Get Rich or Die Trying promo train was running and we were getting closer to the project dropping. Irv and Ja went on, you know, the radio and exposed the order of protection, which it's a tricky situation. Comment and let me know if you're intrigued to hear a video more about that, where it actually really does exist, but it's a tricky thing, man. But 50 wasn't the snitch they were trying to make him out to be. But it's just wild to hear how he didn't really want to mention the Ja Rule beef because he didn't want M, to be like, oh man, he's like too much trouble. He's gonna bring issues, and like investment wise, maybe this isn't such a good idea. And that's funny too. You hear 50 Cent talking about, I got a mill out the deal and I'm still on the grind. And Dame Dash talking about that ain't nothing. That ain't Nathan, $1 million after you get a chain and look out for the homies, this, that, and the third or whatever. And he said, look at Dame today, that broke. We see him in the news trying to sell his shares of Rockefeller, all this drama with Jay-Z and all that and everything. Like $1 million is $1 million. Of course, inflation, everything, $1 million ain't what it is now, what it was before. But $1 million will always be $1 million. You know what I'm saying? I know someone that just came into 3 M's, and as long as you invest it right and move correctly, you can't lose. And that's another thing that I think Fifth has always done. Like, we look at the way that he's winning right now with the Shreveport movement and all that. Like, he's always leveled up and moved in a very smart way and handled his business, but stayed true to who he is as an MC and his image and all that. Like, I always look at 50 Cent like he's the rapper that moved a lot of the way that a lot of these rappers should have moved but didn't. But back to the whole Ja Rule situation, their beef was heated. And, Eminem mentioned it on that Toy Soldiers song, how, Dre, he said we kicked it with 50, yapped it and had a chat with him, and, told him we weren't going to go after Ja, but it wasn't until he started talking in magazines about how he stabbed him, and then, hey, it's time to ride, and they end up bodying Murder Inc. Like, they ended Murder Inc., Ja Rule. Like, you see everyone reacting to the news of Irv Gotti, the stroke and all that. 50 Cent, man, he always says he's a cancer. He don't let ish slide. And that's not just like, I always thought he meant like, yo, I'm cancer. Like, I don't die, as F cancer. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure so many individuals out there can relate cancer as taking someone from them or whatever, but I think he means it that way, but also cancer is a sign, you know what I'm saying? And even with all that being said, with the Art of War-ish that he's on and everything, like, he's talking about, yo, I want to see Irv survive, man, so he can see me keep winning. You know what I'm saying? Just look at it all, 2024, and 50 Cent, once again, still winning. Dame Dash, broke. Ja Rule, Irv Gotti, Murder Inc. doesn't exist anymore. Ja Rule, who had a notable career, I always say that, even being a fan of M and Fifth, like, Ja Rule, Murder Inc. had a lot of bangers, a lot of hits, a lot of #1s, man, but it's all an afterthought now. It's like it never happened. That's how bad they just bodied him, So I can't wait to see this whole interview. And, like I said, man, in my opinion, Eminem signing 50 Cent, being on the lookout for talent out there, that was garnering a buzz the same way Dre was, looking for the next big thing when he signed Eminem. Like, it's just a amazing story, and, one of the biggest debuts in hip hop of all time. Comment and let me know if you agree, your thoughts across the board about what we're talking about. And subscribe, stay tuned for updates. 50 M. From 02 to 2024, man, 22 years. It's just wild. Let's talk about it. Peace.